Welcome everyone to Yoga for Pain Management. Today we are not addressing any specific kind of pain, but chronic pain and fatigue which exists in the entire body. And many times you can't always pinpoint where it's hurting or what kind of pain it is, but you know something is off and you know something is dragging you down. And today we're just going to focus on lifting you up again, letting you feel good in your own body and skin. So please do not do anything which further exacerbates the pain that you have. You only want to do what feels good. And the way we check what feels good is our breath. So if you are breathing softly and calmly throughout the practice, you will not injure yourself. If you are breathing in a manner which causes you to hold your breath or grit your teeth or groan, you're probably doing a little bit more than your body wants to do at that moment. And what we're doing is releasing more cortisol into our system, overworking the adrenal glands, and doing the exact opposite of what it is we want to achieve, which is harmony in our body. So please only do what feels right for you in the moment. And I will be trying to offer props or variations so that you can adapt the pose to your body. We are all individuals and yoga respects that. So please do what feels right. Cannot stress that enough. And of course, we're going to start with just in a standing position. You want to have your feet lined up under your hips. So a little bit of gap is natural. If you put your feet together, you're no longer under your hips, but in the center of gravity. And that's wonderful. But if you step out just slightly so that you're lined up under the hips, we're going to go ahead and start to press into the ground with our feet as if we're trying to push the ground away. You will find that your quads and your knees all become engaged in the process. Similarly, we're going to start to stretch upwards and lengthen from the torso. So we're just doing a simple mountain pose, and it's remarkable how many of our muscles become engaged in this process. So it's an anatomical position, and you're pressing into the ground. My hands are out to the sides, open and stretched. My shoulders are starting to release down away from my ears. And I'm engaging my abdominal muscles and trying to keep my tailbone tucked under a little bit. I don't want you to forcefully pull it under, but kind of pull your navel in towards the back of your spine. And imagine, if you will, that string pulling you up like a marionette, like a puppet, from the center of your crown. And we're just going to hang out here and take a couple of breaths first. So arms engaged, legs engaged, torso engaged, and I'm going to breathe. So 5 nice, deep, and slow inhales and exhales. Fill up your lungs. Exhale, release, and soften. You'll start to feel your presence in your body. You'll start to feel a connection with your skin and bones and muscles. And on the next inhale, we're going to take our arms out and up, reaching up slowly and bringing our hands together. Press your hands together actively, and you will notice you're using a lot of muscles. Actively press the muscles together. Actively press into the ground. And bring your arms down slowly, stretching into the fingertips, pressing as you go down. Release all your muscles and go ahead and just shake everything out. Step it out, release it. So we're going to step out slightly, just a little bit wider than shoulder, maybe 1 foot width, not an actual measurement, but your foot width outside of the shoulder lines. We're going to turn 1 foot out slightly. And if you need to shift your back heel a little bit to keep your balance and keep yourself strong, go ahead and do that. This is a dynamic pose, and it works on the torso, shoulders, neck, and brings circulation to all of our muscles in those areas. So bringing your thumb out and up, we're going to go ahead and imagine kind of that we are a warrior. So stringing our bow, long arm coming around and then pulling back. Once again, long arm coming around, pulling back. If you're comfortable here and you want to bend your knee a little bit, go ahead and do that. You don't want your knee to cross over your toes in this pose. You want to press into the ground firmly with the back leg and the front leg. So you notice it's a very slight bend. Again, arm up and pull back. Arm around, 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 pull back. And the last one, we're going to pull back and hold this pose right here. My thumbs are up. I'm pressing into the ground firmly. All the muscles in my legs are engaged at this point. And releasing slowly, letting that go. We're moving all the muscles in our arms and shoulders, and this strengthens everything supporting our neck and above, and also in our upper back. So turning out the other foot, again, just slightly, maybe about 45 degrees, and you can stand straight, again, engaged legs, or you can cause a slight bend in the front knee, engaged legs. Your front arm up, thumb facing up, bring that arm around, exhale. Inhale, 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 exhale, and hold. I'm active in all of my muscles. My legs are engaged. My arms are engaged. My gaze is on my thumb. And slowly bring yourself back to center. Shake it all out. Let it all go. Give yourself a nice breath. And from here, we're going to step both of our feet out into 45-degree angles. And we're going to bring our arms up and then exhale, sink into a goddess pose. Inhale, come up, sweep across. Inhale up, exhale, inhale, exhale. All of my muscles in my legs, in my quads are engaged as I come up and down. So you don't want to use gravity. You want to use your muscles to do that movement. Inhale up, exhale, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale. You get the point. Exhale down, inhale up. Moving consciously, keeping all your muscles engaged, and we are going to hold this one. So come down as far as you're comfortable holding. I'm pressing firmly into the feet as I hold this. If you want, you can move side to side if you're new to holding this pose. So this just gives each leg a little bit of rest as you hold. If you're comfortable, press into the ground and hold. Breathe softly. If you need to come up and then come back down, that's fine as well. You want to make sure your breath remains soft. All of my muscles in my legs are engaged at this point. One more nice deep inhale. And then exhale, come on up. Turn the toes in, and we're going to drop the body forward gently. No tension in the neck, so I'm going to leave my neck nice and loose and just in a soft forward bend. And then bringing the feet back together all the way, soften the knees and roll up. Again, go ahead and shake any tension out of the legs. Give yourself a nice breath. So we are gonna do a little bit of balance pose, and if you need a chair or a wall or anything, go ahead and move close to a chair or a wall. I'm gonna grab my leg and just pull. So I'm opening up the top of the leg. We did a lot of work with our legs. And I'm gonna stretch open the top of the leg. My hand is on the outside right now of my foot. If you're comfortable, move it to the inside. And what that does is pull the leg under the hip. You don't want your knee splayed out in this pose. You want it under the hip as you hold. So just gently holding, and if you can, pull it back, letting your shoulder open up. I'm letting my hips and shoulders also open over here. Just pulling the leg back slightly. And then release. There you go. Step it out, and we're going to do the other side. So slowly grabbing your foot. If you're comfortable, move your hand to the inside of the foot so your leg does not splay out. You want it under your hip. And then if you're still comfortable here, start to pull the leg back, letting your hips and shoulders kind of arch and float forward. So I have an arch in my back right now. My shoulders are getting an opening. My hips are getting an opening. My breath remains soft. And go ahead and release down, step it out. Give yourself a nice breath. So we're going to step out nice and wide at this point. And we're going to turn out one foot completely to the edge of the mat. I'm going to inhale my arms up, shoulder height, shift my hip a little bit, and then exhale, come down to triangle pose, and inhale, come back up. Now, if you don't want to come all the way down in your triangle pose, you are welcome to put a flex in the front knee so that you're coming where you're comfortable. And you can just rest this arm against your leg. You can also rest it here. Inhale up. So be comfortable in your triangle pose as we move in and out. It is a dynamic movement that we are having. We're doing. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. And this helps the lower back, helps the hips, helps your arms and shoulders because we're causing circulation in all of these areas. And go ahead and come down and hold now your pose. You can lower your arm if you need to do that for yourself. So please make sure you're breathing softly. So I'm going to move my gaze down to my toes over here. Keep the breathing soft. And then slowly come up, taking that front arm overhead, back arm just trails. Exhale, come forward, feet forward, give yourself a breath. Inhale, arms back up, shoulder height. We're going to push the other toe up to the edge of the mat, and I might shift my heel a little bit, or you can push out your hips. Both are fine. Exhale, inhale up. Exhale, inhale up. Exhale, inhale up. Exhale, inhale up. We're going to exhale, come down and hold. And I'm going to move my gaze to my toes. Keep both of the legs engaged. Inhale, come up, take that front arm all the way overhead, back arm trails. Exhale, release down, feet forward. Give yourself a nice breath. So we're going to walk the feet together again. And in this one, we're going to do two dynamic movements, two poses as a dynamic movement. Well, you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm going to do it slightly sideways so that you can see what I'm trying to accomplish here. So we're going to inhale our arms up and then exhale forward and a half forward bend. Inhale up, exhale down. Then we're going to inhale back up, exhale half squat, inhale up, exhale down. So we're going to alternate those two poses. And the key here is when I'm coming up and forward, my arms remain right by my ears. They stay static. They don't move ahead of my body. My back remains as straight as possible when I'm moving. So I don't want to have a hunched back as I come forward and this. So you want to be absolutely straight, stick straight so that you are a 90-degree angle and then up. So if you need to watch yourself in a mirror or have a friend or a partner watch you so that you have that long back, that's fine. So the solution to not having a straight back, if you're not able to get it, is to move less. Don't go as far forward. Keep the angle larger than a 90-degree angle and keep the arms right by your ears and you'll be fine. And you'll find with practice and time that your body moves forward more. So be really mindful of that. Otherwise, you're putting unnecessary strain on your lower back. And you're also doing an awkward kind of stretch that isn't helping you with your lungs and chest and shoulders and lower back. So we want to make sure that you're getting the advantages of yoga, none of the disadvantages. So inhale up, exhale forward, inhale up. Let's go ahead and move right here into our forward squat. Let me continue sideways. Exhale, inhale, 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 exhale. We're going to hold our half forward bend. It is challenging. Keep the breath soft. You can pull your arms in if you need to. Inhale up, exhale, release. It doesn't seem like it should be such a challenging pose, but it is. So please be mindful and make sure your breath remains soft. Go ahead and shake anything out that you need to. And give yourself a nice breath. So we're going to move into our down dog pose. And I always like to start with an inhale up. And then exhale, come down. Step back into your down dog and walk the dog. Push your heels into the mat one at a time. They don't actually have to touch the mat. You just want to stretch the back of your legs so you'll know that you're getting a stretch. That's all that needs to happen. And then come into a still down dog and push your navel into the top of your thighs. Really try to reach your navel there. So you're stretching your back as you do this, getting a nice long back. Breathe over here. And then we're gonna kind of, sorry, my hair's in the way, come out into a plank. So you're just gonna sweep out into a plank and you're gonna hold. And this we all know is wonderful for our core. If you don't like this, you can lower your knees right here. I'm still using my core. So just holding this, keeping the breath soft. And then lowering slightly however you need to. Inhale, come into a cobra. Keep the breath soft. And exhale, push back into child. So if you have any herniated discs or anything, please don't do cobra, simply move right into child. I'm going to tug on the mat a little bit so that my shoulders and arms also get a stretch. So I'm going to move through a little bit of cat-cow here. And the way we're going to do it is I'm going to push up the spine, come into child. And then inhale and move into cow. Sorry, cow. So cat. This is cat. When I push up the spine, move back into child. Inhale, cat up and go into cow. Cat. Cat up and cow. Cat. Child. Cat. Cow. Cat. Child. Cat. Cow. Cat. Child. Cat. cat, child, cat, cow, cat, child, cat, cow. And then go ahead and just take a look over each shoulder, and then we'll come into seated. So give yourself a nice breath as you get comfortable and sit in a comfortable, easy pose. So whatever that means for you, it means there's no aches or pains in the body. If you need to be on a chair for these poses, that is also fine. So if you're in a chair, you're going to go ahead and grab your chair handle, reach up and stretch. If you're on the ground, we're going to plant our hand, reach up and over and stretch. In both cases, you want to try and keep your hips planted. So just stretching overhead as much as you can. Inhale, back, and other side. Inhale, go ahead and come back to center. Give yourself a nice breath. So we're going to stretch our legs out. And if you want to hold yourself up with your arms, go ahead and do that. You're going to roll your feet and ankles. So this is a really wonderful pose we should do every single day. And the reason is that our feet carry us all through the day, and we don't give them enough love. Our feet and our ankles and our toes, all of these need a lot of love, and this just helps. There's more muscles and bones in your feet, I think, than the rest of your body. So you want to take care of all those little guys. They have so many purposes. And go ahead and pull in one knee, give it a nice hug, and out. Pull in the other one, give it a nice hug, and out. So we're going to pull one leg in and come up nice and tall. Go ahead and push down on the knee if that works for you. Otherwise, allow gravity to do its thing, and perhaps your foot doesn't come all the way up here. That's fine. Maybe it stays down here. Doesn't matter, wherever it goes. Just giving your body the stretch that it needs. And then go ahead and switch out feet. Again, wherever you're comfortable. If this is where that is, that's perfect. If it wants to go further up, that's perfect. And push as long as it feels okay and there's no pain. This rotation of the knee doesn't work for everyone. It doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. It just means that your knee joint is fixed a little differently. So just be with your body. And go ahead and out and just let that all go. We're going to step out or sit in a slightly wide seated position. We're going to go ahead and inhale the arms up. Bring our hands to one side and then slide across. Inhale up and over. And we're going to move through this a couple of times. The key here is to make sure you don't have a collapsed and rounded spine as you do this or as you come up. You don't want to be collapsed and rounded, but nice and tall. So if you need to bring your feet together a little bit to do that, that's fine. Be comfortable. Make sure your breath is working for you. So I'm exhaling as I slide across, inhaling as I come up and over. And again, this is working on my lower back. This is working on my shoulders. This is working on my legs and hips. This is bringing circulation to every part of my body almost. And now we're going to hold. So I'm holding and I'm trying to be stable on both hips. And again, holding means holding wherever your body allows you to hold. Inhale, slide back. Give yourself a nice breath. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So inhale up, exhale across. Inhale up and over, exhale across. And we're going to hold. So again, hold where your body is comfortable holding. Try to keep your hips balanced on the mat. You are leaning a little bit, but just do your best. And then inhale, slide up. Once again, bring your legs together, wriggle it all out. Give yourself a nice breath. Bringing your feet together again. Go ahead and get nice and tall. Nice deep inhale. We're going to grab one knee with the opposite hand and just look over the shoulder. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. I am not pulling on the knee at all. I'm simply placing my hand there. Inhale, come back to center. Give yourself a nice breath. I'm going to go onto my spine now in supine position. So if you are okay with spinal rolls, this is the way that happens. You roll back and forth a couple of times, and that's a spinal roll. If that sounds horrible to you, hand onto your shins and move the spine back and forth right here. We're essentially looking for a little bit of massage to the spine and bringing fresh blood flow to the spinal cord. So coming back into your final roll, go ahead and lengthen your legs and start to lower your legs gently to the mat. You can do them with bent knees. You can do it one leg at a time. So however it works for you to bring your legs down slowly. Settle onto the mat. So make any squiggly motions that you need to. The arms are going to come out in a T, and you're going to raise one knee up or both knees up and then pull them across the body. I'm going to do one knee because that's how I like it, but it's your choice. My shoulders are reaching for the mat. I'm trying to keep them down. And my head faces the opposite direction of the knees. Inhale, come back, and opposite side. Twists keep your spine young, so throw them into your day wherever you can. Inhale, come back to center. We're going to stretch overhead and lengthen the body. And then go ahead and pull into a nice tight ball. If you can, your chin comes to your knees. And then lowering the upper body down, I'm going to move my hands under my legs. And in this one, we are strengthening our core. So please go easy on yourself if you are not used to exercising. If you are used to exercising, I will give you some variations. So the way we're going to do this is pull the knees into the chest, inhale the legs up, and roll down. Pull it in, extend, roll down. So if you need to challenge yourself more, you're going to take your legs straight up and down. If you want to even more challenge yourself, your arms are straight up. Inhale, exhale. If you want to take it easier today, when you're doing these, you're going to go up, extend, and then lower one leg at a time. So these are all the variations that you can do. And please do what your breath allows. Follow your breath. Listen to your body. Keep the breath gentle, and you don't want your head up like this when you're doing this. You want to make sure your upper body is relaxed on the mat and your chin is tucked in. You don't want to have your chin up when you're doing these. So keeping the breath gentle. One more. And then pull the knees into the chest and roll it out, side to side. You always want to undo any of the tension you've created in the body. We're going to go ahead and grab a block or a rolled towel or another rolled mat for our bridge pose. So we've worked a lot on the core today, and you're going to go ahead and just tuck this under your hips and allow your body to just kind of sink in over here and enjoy this little bit of stretch for the hips and lower back. If you would like, you can extend your legs and have a deeper stretch. So whatever feels right for you. And then coming back 1 foot at a time, slowly lifting the hips and moving the block out from under you. Go into a windshield wiper. And then taking 1 foot and placing it on the opposite thigh. I have 2 choices here. I can either push on the knee here and do this stretch, or I can hug both knees in, grabbing from under the knee here, grabbing, kind of threading the needle through this arm and holding on, pulling and stretching my hips here. So whichever feels good to you. This is really helpful in hip pain, sciatic pain. You'll notice my head and neck are still relaxed on the mat. You don't want to have it lifted up. Otherwise, you're going to cause yourself neck pain. I'm going to switch. So again, I can place my foot on the thigh and then push on the knee, or I can pull both in. And then go ahead and release that. Grab your toes or your knees or your ankles for happy baby. Just pulling it in and rocking it out side to side. And this again just stretches the lower back a little bit and also massages the spine as well. We're going to come over onto our bellies for a moment. So, say that a lot. We're going to come into Sphinx. My elbows under my shoulders, and I'm propped up so that my hands are out nice and wide, Spider-Man style, pressing into the mat. My legs are moving away from me, stretching, so that all my muscles are engaged at this point. My head is pointing straight ahead, and I'm just going to breathe here. My shoulder blades are pulling back and together. I'm going to come down onto the mat in a crocodile position and just roll my hips side to side. And now I'm going to lift one leg at a time, alternating legs. So I'm going to inhale one leg up, release it down. Inhale the opposite, release it down. Inhale up, exhale. 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 I'm going to inhale up and hold. The other leg is pressing into the mat. I'm going to switch out sides. And release down. Again, roll your hips side to side. Go ahead and bring your hands by your shoulders and roll the shoulder blades back. Inhale, push up. Exhale, release down. Roll the shoulder blades back. Inhale, push up. Exhale, release down. Roll the shoulder blades back, push up, and then widen the knees and come into child. All right, so we will move into Savasana, and that, I think I've explained before, is in corpse pose. So your arms are out wide, your feet are out wide, and you're simply lying here like a corpse. And you want to do this for about 5 to 10 minutes. If you can, set a timer. And this is where the transformation happens in your body. This is where you reap the benefits of all of the work that you just did. So you definitely don't want to skip this part. This is the part that is key in creating a well body, in creating a healthy and well body. This is where all of the transformation occurs. So don't skip this part. Keep your hands out and just focus on your breathing as you're doing this. Just focus on your inhale and exhale. And you'll find as your mind wanders that you need to call it back to your breath. Now, I won't put this on the video, 10 minutes of rest, but I suggest you pause it. And then when you're ready, come back to seated and unpause the video. So we will do some breathing at this point, and I'm just gonna suggest you get nice and tall if you'd like. You can put a block under your hips if that's more comfortable for you. It does lengthen the spine and causes the body to be in an optimal position if you're not comfortable sitting on the ground or not used to sitting on the ground a lot. So getting nice and tall, pulling the shoulder blades open. Just first ground yourself. Maybe move your head side to side, up and down. Release any of the muscles and tension in the neck and throat, because that's where the air goes in. So if you want to roll your head around a little bit. And then just come back to center. We're going to do, a 3-part breath. It's going to be an inhale at 4, and then we're going to drop our chin to our chest and hold that inhale for a count of 6. And then we're going to come up and exhale to the count of 4. So I'll show you in the stages. Inhale, drop the chin, exhale. So I'm going to go ahead and do that without talking, but I'll move my hand so you can see where I am. And we cycle through that several times. And what that does is kind of tone the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is the largest nerve in the body, and it has, little offshoots everywhere in the body, but a large portion of it is in the neck. And when we do that, when we tone the vagus nerve, we elicit a better parasympathetic nervous response. We let go of the sympathetic nervous system and start to move into the parasympathetic nervous system and start to release our fight or flight response to everything. We've managed in modern life to elevate each and every problem to a life and death problem. And we know that's not true. We know that up here, but our body has started to respond as if it is because of constant stimuli. And we need to just tell our body that it's okay. Whatever is happening is okay. And by toning the vagus nerve, we're better able to elicit that response rather than elevating everything to something that is a life or death kind of situation. We anger easily. We bring ourselves down easily. We're no longer able to recognize simply the variations and movements in life without thinking of them as just so critical. If somebody takes your parking spot, we have an aggressive response to it rather than just driving away and finding another one, So this just helps to keep us calm and centered. So again, we'll go over that again. And just repeat that as many times as you can, 3 or 4 minutes in a day, and you will find um, you feel centered and more grounded during the day. Thank you so much for spending this time with me.